Talk nerdy to me.
You were like, I thought you'd go ma ma.
I didn't know that was happening.
You are like there's people who are good at improv, and then there's sloths, and then there's you.
Can we crack a window? It's fucking stagfirm.
Okay.
And you come round to Gaz's.
Right?
When you go round to Gaz's and he cracks a cold window with the boys.
Awesome.
Right. Welcome to the Talk Nerdy to Me podcast. I'm GB.
I'm Chris.
I'm Gaz.
And we are going to talk about a few little things, normal stuff, bit of news, bit of trailers, but there is a big topic at hand, and it is Adam West passing away. But in true Adam West fashion, I think we're not going to mourn him so much, but celebrate him and just have a bit of a laugh and a memory and think about everything he did. Yeah, Gaz is like, the reason I went blank there is I could see Gaz like going, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to say. Because Gaz definitely watched 60s Batman.
I've watched the 60s Batman, but I have no memory.
So, anyway, we'll start off with, because we didn't know there was much of this, but Chris came in shouting, stop the presses, stop the presses. Chris with the news, because he has lots of news.
Yeah, there's been a bit of news that's dropped in the comic book movie world. Mike Mignola from Stranger Things has been cast as Hellboy in the Hellboy reboot, and he played the sheriff in Stranger Things.
Yeah, he played the police officer.
Is that his name? Yeah.
Mike Mignola.
Yeah. So not only do we have a new Hellboy,
which is fucking cool.
It's not going to be Ron Perlman.
I saw there was some fan art of him as Hellboy, and it looks sick.
You saw that on @TalkNerdUK Instagram.
Saw it.
Yeah.
If you want your news early,
go follow us. Anyway, yeah. So not only are we not going to have Ron Perlman back as Hellboy, but we're not getting any Del Toro either. You know, it's.
I'm totally okay with this.
Yeah. Well, it's got to happen if it's in a reboot and a reimagining. It's got to be a fresh start, hasn't it? You know, new director, new actors. You know, I'm all for it. I'm looking forward to it.
I would just ask, I mean, I don't know what you remember of the Hellboy movies, but...
I remember liking it, to be fair, but never did it,
sink in.
I mean, it was good. It was a good watch, but it wasn't one that I was, raving about.
No, I just remember all the practical effects were some of the best puppetry since anything like the Henson studio did. I don't think they used barely any CGI where they could help it. And, yeah, Ron Perlman was great, but he's getting on a bit now. They didn't stop making them because they were shit. They've gone out on a high note. They'll always be remembered. And if anything, the bar's been set. So I think it's a good thing because we need more Hellboy, especially now that we're in a comic book era of films. It's mad that we've not got Hellboy films out. But, yeah, I'm totally for it. And the guy as well. I mean, you and I both thought, I think we all thought that guy was amazing in Stranger Things. He took a character which we could have all just gone, about, just like a drunken police officer, and totally made it this kick-ass renegade cop.
Yeah. I could totally see him in a leading role in a film.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's going to pull it off.
He definitely owned that role. I mean, obviously, I think it was one of them where we all kind of said, at first, you didn't really know how to take him on when we first watched Stranger Things, and then he just grew into the best character in there.
I think that's a fair. Yeah, I think he was the best character actually.
He was a very strong character in it. But yeah, I think he's going to make a good Hellboy, so that's pretty exciting news.
He's got the jawline and everything.
So the next bit of news, speaking of jawlines, that's a good segue.
Oh, is it?
We're going to get a live-action Judge Dredd TV show.
Hold on. What do you mean, speaking of jawlines?
Judge Dredd?
He's just, okay,
he's
mandible.
He's got the biggest chin in comic book history.
Okay, I suppose, yeah.
I'm not enthralled by this news.
By what, TV series?
Yeah, there's been loads lately, and I haven't seen one that's been good.
You liked that new X-Men one?
Legion?
Yeah.
That's different, though. That's not now we're going to put Wolverine on the telly. That was a different part of the X-Men franchise that you don't see in the films.
So I
don't mind that, but Judge Dredd has not long been a big film.
But they're not making any more.
Well, don't give a tiny toss. They don't need to for 20 years.
So was that Judge Dredd film, the recent remake, was that any good? Because I never saw it.
I fell asleep watching it.
Oh, really?
I genuinely fell asleep watching it, but it gets rave reviews.
Distinctly average, I thought. I thought it was never as good as never as good as the old one. I love the old one.
To be honest, I can't even remember the old one. I'm not a huge Judge Dredd 2000 AD fan, really.
The old one's quite cheesy though. Like looking back, apparently it looks quite dated. Like you might have a fond memory.
I'd agree with that, but so does RoboCop.
Yeah, I suppose.
Another one that I've never connected with, never even seen it. RoboCop.
I'll get on that.
Yeah, you should really watch that, Chris.
I sort of missed all that. I don't know, like Terminator and everything.
I've never seen Terminator.
What?
I think I have, but it's one of those things where it's just like... I played the video game when I was a kid on the Nintendo.
That's not the same at all.
I wasn't old enough to watch that film when it came out.
That is weird. They did market a lot of it towards kids.
Yeah,
even though it was a 15, Terminator 2 as well, it was a 15, and they marketed it totally towards kids.
I had the figures and everything. Like,
I
remember
watched it just for the soundtrack, mate. It's an absolute belter.
You can't be my
I remember being a kid and playing with the Terminator figures, but not knowing what they were, but just loving the figures.
Did you use the figures to show the man in the court where you were touched?
Yes, JB. That's exactly what happened. So should we move on to the next bit of news?
Can you make a segue out of that?
No, I can't.
It's funny you should say that.
So yeah, Donald and Stephen Glover have announced they're doing an adult Deadpool cartoon.
I remember.
Which is
I
interesting.
heard that.
When I first saw that it was going to be a Deadpool cartoon, I thought, oh, they're going to make it for kids. It's going to be like Spider-Man. And I thought, nah, Deadpool's strictly for adults, isn't it? You know.
Wait, this is the guy
if it's
that did Atlanta and stuff, isn't it? Glover.
Yeah, from Community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name? His artist name. I can't remember.
Childish Gambino.
Yeah, that's the book. Yeah, he's boss actually.
He's really talented.
So that could work.
He is very funny actually. Is he doing the script or is he directing or just are they producing or?
Just let me check IMDb.
Bob Chris checks that. I mean, I would have a lot of faith in this because
Atlanta. I don't think I've spoke too much about that. I think I put it in my TV thing ages ago, but that was a boss show. It was
I haven't watched that yet.
It's really, really good. It's got like this really sharp wit all the way through it, and it's just got like coolness throughout. And it's basically like about a guy who makes friends with a rapper, and he tries to like bring him up, so he becomes like his manager and stuff. Right. And it's just a really cool show, and it's literally laugh out loud funny in some bits. There's a bit in a jail scene that I was roaring at. It's one of the funniest things I've seen on TV in ages.
Well, in Community, a lot of Community was quite ad-lib, and he was brilliant at that. And I could imagine in Deadpool, like, he might write a script, but if they decide to do a bit of ad-lib and then animate on top of that, it could, and especially with Deadpool, the sky's the limit. But what's he doing on it, or...?
Nothing's been
set in
properly.
stone.
He's basically co-creating it.
Oh, that's good.
I don't think any writers or directors have been announced yet, but it's good that we're getting more Deadpool content in the form of a
cartoon.
Yeah, but an adult cartoon, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's meant to debut next year, I think.
Sweet.
So, sounds good.
Yeah.
Next bit of news. The Flash movie has now lost its second director.
Fuck off!
And now has no director at the helm.
When's that going to be coming out?
It's meant to be coming out next year, I think.
No fucking chance, then.
So, yeah, I mean, this film has just been fraught with problems from the beginning. Same with the Aquaman film, but I think they've managed...
They are getting Aquaman
They've got a director
done.
now.
Yeah.
But this Flash film, no one wants to fucking touch it.
There must be something in the storyline.
I just wonder whether it's like people are looking at the DC universe now and just going, do you know what, is it worth it?
Well, I think the problem is the Flash has already been given a great origin story in the TV show. That's been done perfectly. So people are thinking, well, what stories can we tell in the Flash movie?
A lot of people are saying the TV show is kind of like kick them in the nuts because it's doing ridiculously well.
Well,
That's
surely
really good.
DC have got a say in what comes out and when. So why did they release a TV show and then what? Years
because they don't.
later.
It's co-owned. No, it's because it's co-owned by Warner Brothers. Right. So Warner Brothers were like, yeah, make a TV show because Arrow was doing dead well, and they wanted to make a little TV universe, but they needed another heavy hitter. So they went with the Flash.
It just seems this is like, as I said it before, but I just don't see the point in bringing stuff out and then bringing something out again. Like
it's almost like they've got no foresight at all. You know, Marvel have got this great big plan where they've incorporated their TV universe with the film universe, and it's all gelling so well, and it's all so great. But DC, it all just feels so disjointed, and you know, the Arrow show, it's very, you know, CW. Everyone looks like a supermodel, and it's just vanilla. And then they have the films that are a completely different tone, and it just, and then they're saying that they're having two separate universes now. It's just.
I can tell you right now why this is getting proper rejected by directors, and it'll be to do with, because the Flash is all about it, the fucking time travel side of it. I bet you it's a fucking mess what they're trying to do with time travel on that fucking movie, because we've already seen he's gone back once and he's gone into Batman v Superman. There'll be something to do with time travel, and I can imagine. Think how much of a mess it was. They just had to make Batman and Superman fight each other, and they made that into a giant mess. Now give them the idea of a character that can travel in time. They are going to be fucking going all sorts. There'll be plot holes for days. I bet you each director's looking at this going, this can't be fucking done, let me change it. That's why Ben Affleck's probably walked away a bit, gone, I've got this idea for Batman, and they've gone, no, it doesn't match with the time travel scene in The Flash. There'll be, I bet you there's something stupid time travel. If not, JB, will eat all my bandanas.
I thought you were going to say you'll direct the Flash film then.
No, I would direct the Flash film. In the very first scene, he gets struck by lightning, and instead of getting any powers, he just dies, and that's the end of it, because I hate the Flash. Fucking overrated. Hate the Flash.
So, in more comic book movie news, Tom Hardy's been cast as Venom in the new Sony standalone film.
We talked about this, haven't we?
We might have talked about it between ourselves, but I don't think we talked about it on the podcast last time.
No, it was announced after we recorded our last podcast.
I'm not keen on this.
It's an unusual move, isn't it? And I think it's even more unusual that this film that's going to come out won't have Spider-Man in. Apparently it's just a solo, standalone, Sony just getting their cocks out and saying, oh, this is what we can do.
Sony want to make a villain universe that is separate from the Marvel universe completely, and Spider-Man is present in it, but you might not see him.
What, like fucking... I watched some...
I like watching his brain react.
I watched some film about how... I think it's like Islam started.
This is dodgy ground.
The collective faces of, oh shit, where are we going?
Guys, this is a journey I'm already feeling uncomfortable on.
No, right, okay, it's the story of Islam, right? And they don't show Allah, right, all the way through it, because you're not allowed to show a depiction of Allah.
Or the Prophet
but
Muhammad.
He's in it. So there's a scene in it. That's the one.
The Prophet Muhammad, yeah. I know more about this fucking thing than you.
That's the one, yeah. And there's a scene where he's even riding a camel, and you see the camel, and you see people talking to him. There's no one on the camel.
Is it like Tom and Jerry when you just see the feet of the grown-ups?
You don't even see him. You never see him. He's not literally...
Sorry, did you just compare the depiction of Spider-Man in these Sony films to the entire lore and legend of the Prophet Muhammad and how he's interpreted by Islam?
Well, I'm just telling you, it's a weird film.
No, to be honest, I think it'll be just as weird. Because you can't have Venom without Spider-Man, really. And it's a bit odd, isn't it?
Well, they're saying that new film, Life, which is like this alien film. Have you seen it? With
no, I've not seen it yet.
But you've seen the trailers for it.
Yeah.
There's people saying the way that story goes and the way the film ends, and because it's by Sony, it could be a secret prequel to Venom.
This just sounds awful.
I don't get why they're doing it. I don't get why would you just not work with Marvel and go, we want to make we want to make a good Venom movie. There is no way this is going to work. And
now they're thinking, they'll just get Tom Hardy because everyone loves Tom Hardy.
They need a different Spider-Man for it.
The only thing I would say is Tom Hardy is pretty fucking decent. Nearly everything he touches is pretty boss.
He's a solid actor.
The moment.
He is solid, but if he's in a film that's not great, he isn't solid enough to save it. Look at the one about the
But I don't
the
think
twins.
he's the type of guy who takes a film that he doesn't have confidence in at the same time. Because everything he does seems to be boss.
Yeah, but look at Legend. So he's playing the Cray twins, and he's really good in it.
He's bossing it.
Yeah, he's bossing it. But the film itself is kind of average, and it's a bit.
It was alright.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit alright, but it's just alright. It's nothing more than that. And
yeah, but it wasn't shit.
But but we're talking like this is going to be Venom, so it's a superhero film, and I think you've said before it can't just be like, alright, it's gotta hit the mark. It's got to do something different, a bit special. Yeah. He might give a good performance, but it might be one of them things where you're watching someone give it their all, but all the rest of the scene, the art, the scenery's falling round.
Obviously, does that mean there's no superhero in it?
Technically, yeah, because there's only going to be the other people in this universe are going to be Black Canary.
That could be interesting because, like, I can't say that I'll ever remember there being a film just on the supervillain.
True.
So that's an interesting take on it. Is it just him doing evil, bad shit? Probably. Sounds boss.
I don't know. It's probably about the internal conflict with him and the symbiote, and maybe something like that. But
he's not a villain though. Really, he's an anti-hero. He was a villain to kind of begin with, but he in the first 2 years or 4 years of the character, but really went on to be this anti-hero. Which whenever Marvel shows made him a villain, but really in the comics he's always been a bit of an anti-hero.
It depends. I mean, they've got an absolute huge back catalogue of stories they could pick. You know, in the current Venom run, you know, he's in space with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So, I mean, obviously they can't do that because it's fucking Sony, but what I mean is, you know, he's Venom Space Knight in the comics, you know, most recently, so they could do fucking anything with him, really. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a property name, and they could just do anything with it.
I'm not confident.
I mean, jury's out for me. You know, I do like Tom Hardy, but the whole concept of that film just seems a bit strange to me. But, you know, obviously I'll go see it because I like Venom. And Tom Hardy, but whatever.
I think we'll see nearer the time. We start getting trailers, we might get a bit more, and then
it might not even fucking get made.
That's a good point. Yeah,
Sony had that whole Sinister Six thing lined up, and then that got cancelled.
Oh, news just in: Tom Hardy is going to direct The Flash.
I wish that'd be good. So next bit of comic book movie news. So have you heard about this New Mutants movie that's coming out next year?
No, really. No, I kind of know, but I don't know anything.
Do you know much about the New Mutants? They're an offshoot of the X-Men.
Right.
They're lumped in with, you know, X-Force.
Is that with Domino?
Domino is in that, yeah. I think she knocks around with Cable. But yeah, we've basically got our... Is Domino in it? Hang on.
She better fucking be in it.
No, Domino's not in New Mutants. She's in X-Force, I think, or X-Factor.
Oh, so she is an X-Force, actually.
Yeah, she's in one of the X teams, anyway. But this is New Mutants, and we're going to get it next year. And we've had our cast announced. So we're going to get another actor from Stranger Things, Charlie Heaton. He's going to be playing Cannonball.
Was he the bad guy, kind of?
He was, in Stranger Things, he played the brother, Jonathan.
Right.
The crazy one.
Oh, yeah.
That ended up... with Will's sister.
Yeah.
The other one I mean.
Yeah.
So he's playing Cannonball. He's a good actor. Happy about that. An actress called Blue Hunt is going to play Daniel Moonstar.
She's called what?
Blue.
Careful now.
Blue. Spelled like Blue Hunt.
Right, okay.
It's a strange name for an actress.
There we go. She's going to be.
Does she have a brother called Mike?
She's going to be playing Mirage.
Right.
Henry Zaga, I think that's how you say his last name. Zed?
Zed?
The fuck am I on? So anyway, Henry Zaga is going to be playing Sunspot, Robert DaCosta. He was in 13 Reasons Why. Don't know if either of you have watched that.
Didn't you watch that?
I thought it was fucking awful.
Really?
Mate, don't get me started on that. So that's another podcast. 13 Reasons Why Not to Watch It. Fucking dreadful. Maisie Williams is going to be in it. She's going to play Wolfsbane. Interesting. I'm quite happy with that. You like Maisie Williams, don't you? Doctor Who?
Which one was Maisie? Oh, no.
She was in Game of Thrones.
No, I don't like her.
You don't like her?
She phoned it in Doctor Who, totally.
That's the little girl.
She played me.
Oh, yes, she was sweet.
Yeah.
I didn't even like her character in Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
Dreadful.
I think she'll be a good
Wolfsbane.
I'd rather drop a brick on my testicles.
And Anya Taylor-Joy is going to be playing Ilana Rasputin. She's called Magic. So we've got...
I did not know any of those characters.
Well, that's the news, JV.
Right.
And you didn't have a chance. I had very little chance.
Two little bit. Another bit of news. The Sin City TV show's in the works.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that'll be good.
Oh.
That will be good.
Stop making TV shows out of decent shit.
But you want them to make TV shows out of shite?
No, I want them to come up with original
new ideas. There we go. It's true. I mean, I don't know. I liked Sin City the movie. I thought it was cool. I don't think I saw the second one.
No, I didn't see the second one because I thought everything had been said, and I don't really need to. But a TV show, it's proper episodic as Sin City, so I'd actually prefer it this way. And it'll work.
Is it going to be in black and white?
Yeah, it's good. If it's not in black and white noir, there's no point in doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely no point.
Final bit of news.
Okay.
Strictly comic book news. This. We've recently had that Watchmen crossover in DC Comics.
Yeah,
the button with the Flash and Batman comics.
Careful what you say, because I do plan on reading this, but I haven't read it yet.
Well, the next big event, the next big Watchmen crossover event, will be in the Superman books, and it's going to be called Doomsday Clock. It's going to be from Jeff Johns. It's coming out in November, so that looks super exciting.
I like the fact Superman and Doomsday,
Doomsday
Clock, Watchmen, and then Jeff Johns.
Jeff Johns.
Yeah, who...
It's a winning formula.
I'm
super excited for that. Yeah, so that's all the information I have on it, really. The title, it's coming out, and who it's by. But yeah, for me, it's like a fanboy's dream come true. The fact that Watchmen are coming into the DC universe with all the superheroes, Batman and the Flash, and to finally get Superman involved. We're going to come to this point now where, everything's going to change. Can you finally ask the question who would win out of Superman or Dr. Manhattan? Oh, we're going to see, aren't we? It's exciting. I bet. Isn't sure it's Dr. Manhattan? Because he can't be killed. Well, he could just fucking travel back in time and change everything. I mean, that's the reason why all this is going on. Because the big thing is, isn't it, is that he's been controlling... Basically, Dr. Manhattan is in charge of this whole thing, and he has caused the DC Universe rebirth. And he's the reason why. I'm planning on reading this, Chris. No, dude, it's not a spoiler. This is the premise of what's happened. This is the reason they've been planting these seeds in the comics for the past year or so now, haven't they, ever since the rebirth? And this is what everybody thinks. This isn't definitely what's happened, but this is what everyone thinks is the reason why. Okay, all right. They think that Dr. Manhattan is the reason behind the DC Universe rebirth, which is a really cool concept. I am going to read that. It does look good. Get it in trade, Joe. I know, I will. Get it in trade. Now, I was going to say, I've fucking been on the hunt for these 3D lenticular covers, whatever they're called. Lenticular. Bloody hell! Excuse me, have you got these 3D lenticular covers? No, dude, I've been hunting around Liverpool and Manchester and Leeds for these fucking variant covers, and they've been like gold dust. So luckily, my boy Field Mouse over in Nashville, Tennessee, has hooked me up. And thank you, Field Mouse. Thank you, man. I've got a package on the way. I bet you have. Phil Mouse's package is on the way for me. So he sorted me out with those 4 issues with those 3D covers, so I'm excited to read them. Oh. So I've read them already, but online, But it would be nice to actually... But to have the physical copy, and, it's just a collector's dream, isn't it, to have all them together. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty cool. So that about wraps up the news. All right. We've got... It's been a light week, light month on trailers, hasn't it? We've only got 2 to watch this month. And the Black Panther and Transformers last night. I'm sure Gaz would be happy to do this because during all that comic book talk, I could see Gaz going... I've glazed over. Yeah, Gaz wanted to say stuff, but he just didn't know how. It looked like a guy who's nervous on his first date. Well, actually, let me ask you a little question about that what we just talked about. Does any of that interest you, or do you have any questions about it? I mean, I know you're not really into comics, but you like Batman. I'd like it to be a film. Would you? But not a TV series. Have you watched The Watchmen? Yeah. Did you like it? No. Okay. I'll tell you, that's one of the only comic books I have read. Oh, so you've read The Watchmen? Yeah. So, do you like the idea of those worlds coming together? Yeah, I do, yeah. I think it's but... Is that DC, is it?
DC Vertigo, yeah.
Oh, Christ.
No, the comics are doing really well. They're really
but I meant, like, for film-wise, if it came together.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and they're having to do that.
They probably won't do a film of it for many years.
I said that. I said if they might try and do it in like 10 years, 12 years, but it would be a fucking mess.
Eventually they will reboot the Watchmen movie and do it again. I don't think it will be as good. I really liked the Watchmen movie.
I just thought it was very, like, slow and...
But what did you read the comic first or watch the film?
No, I watched the comic first.
You watched the comic?
You read the comic.
Read the comic.
Looking at a book.
Did you not?
Do something!
I thought it was so true to the comic, obviously except the change of the ending. But the tone of it, that's the first scene where, the comedian, he falls out the window in slow motion.
Spoilers.
And that song's on, and it's just like, damn.
I don't know what it was. It just felt like a bit pedestrian to me.
Pedestrian.
And I'm with him on this. I thought visually it was lovely, but it didn't tell the story that was in the comic. I walked out of the theatre going, that was, as Gaz would say, distinctly average. Really excited for it. I could see so much potential and everything, and it was good little moments, but nothing major. And then finally got to read the comic, and when I read that comic, I was just like, there was no way they were going to capture this. There was no way they were going to get that into one film.
There's always an element for me when something gets adapted, from a comic into a movie, of pure fanboyism, where I'm like, oh my god, it's on screen. What I've been reading all these years is up there. It's a living, breathing thing. And sort of that takes over, I think sometimes for me, my fanboy side, where I'm like, holy shit. It was like that first time I saw, like, Fantastic Four movie. It's like, oh my god, all these characters that I've been reading, they're on screen. I don't care how shit it is. It's something that's,
You wanted to watch it.
Yeah, it's just seeing it live. You know what I mean? Jumping off the page.
For the record, Chris was talking about Fantastic Four, not Fant Four Sick.
No, still remains.
I'm not watching that. I refuse. If anything, I think at some point in the future we might do videos where we watch movies together, and like see our reactions to them. And I think
shit one.
Yeah, and I think that would actually be one. We do.
Maybe do a bit of commentary on it.
Yeah.
No, but as soon as it's on Netflix, I'll watch it.
No, we get drunk and watch it. Duh. Yeah. I'm not watching that sober, motherfucker.
As soon as that comes to Netflix, I'll watch it, but I'm not buying it. I might buy it in CEX for like £1 or something. But as far as it goes, But yeah, should we watch some trailers?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is Transformers: The Last Night.
1,000 years, we've kept it hidden. The secret history of Transformers. Here, on Earth. Now, to save our future, we must unlock the past.
You better have some skills today, buddy.
I love you, man.
What are you doing?
I'm dying.
It was a beanbag.
It was a beanbag? I felt it go through me.
Two worlds colliding. Only one survives.
I want to stay, and I want to fight this.
There's something annoying about Transformers films.
Fucking hell, mate. I've got to say, that looked dull as fuck. And considering the amount of explosions in it, that's a spectacular effort in it. Fucking hell. I'm so bored of him now. They look shite.
How many
I
of
didn't
them are
like
now?
even
5.
Just the fifth one, right? I hate the way they fucking look. Like, this is the same thing I was pissed off about Power Rangers for. Because the toys used to be boss.
Yeah.
Used to look fun.
Yeah.
And fucking colourful and all this shit, and now they've made them too robotic and too fucking.
There's a dinosaur.
Oh, fuck it!
But is it a dinosaur or is it a robot?
It's a robot dinosaur.
I'm just
See,
bored
that
of it.
sounds pretty cool though. That. See, I dropped off when just before the robot dinosaur one.
You watched up to 3. You didn't watch 4, did you?
Yeah. But I loved the first Transformers. I was fucking obsessed with that film when it came out. The Linkin Park soundtrack.
There's nothing wrong really with the first film. It's an alright watch.
But I wasn't enthralled by it enough to go, ooh, I can't wait for the second one. And then the second one comes and you go, alright.
The second one was a mess with weird jokes in, and then
you get the third one.
The third one was that was so boring. I think I fell asleep.
To be honest, they all kind of.
I've seen the fourth one. Right.
Have you?
I have, and I can't remember a fucking thing about it.
They all merge into one, don't they? That's the problem.
I just haven't got a fucking clue, and that looks the same.
Aside from the robot dinosaurs, there's nothing to distinguish each one. No. Apart from this one's like knights for some reason,
like medieval.
And, like, medieval stuff. But there's one thing that I never would have cast.
Is Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins is a Transformers film.
I think it's weird hearing him say the word "The Secret of Transformers."
Yeah.
It sounded like something out of a game. You know? And also, was it me or was it his monologuing? Like, his monologuing wasn't just suitable for the trailer. He was monologuing the trailer. Like, what he's exactly saying was like, you know, so to save our future,
there's a robot over there.
We must go into our. We must look into
Here's
our
another
past.
one. This one's jumped in the air.
This one tastes awfully good. A bit of falafel.
I saw this thing on Facebook that was the promo that they're doing for this film at the moment.
Oh yeah.
And did you see that? What they've done is they've gone into some art museum. I don't know where it was, but somewhere that have like dead old paintings and shit, and they've made these artwork. These paintings, and they've put in like Transformers in these Renaissance pieces, but like,
they look like they're in the thing.
Like they're in it.
So it's like Mona Lisa selfieing with the fucking one of them.
Well, it's like they've painted them in the same style and the same colours, so like, it looks genuinely like if that's part of the painting, not like someone's going. And just put a stick of a Transformers on. It looks like that's part of the painting.
I didn't explain that very well, but you know what I mean.
I think I know what you mean now.
And they've put secret cameras in this art gallery, and they've filmed people's reactions going up to the painting and going, "What the fuck is that Transformer in that painting?" You know, and it's just like, okay, you know, it's like
I liked that.
That sounds more entertaining.
It was more entertaining. What was really entertaining was a little boy with a class. The teacher goes, "Draw this," and he goes, "Is that a Transformer?" And she goes, No, of course not. She looks at him and she goes, right. And it's very interesting that you see that.
Yeah. She was like, it's part of a boat sinking.
It's part of a boat sinking. It's got a fucking gun like that. The face, it's Bumblebee like going ham in the sea. And the kid goes, I don't care. It's awesome! That kid, it was fucking better than that trailer. It's really annoying because those films could be so much more, but they're just so...
You know, kids love them, and that's why they keep making them.
But they're going to be so forgotten about in about 10 years.
Maybe. But at the moment, they're making the cash, aren't they? And Michael Bay's, exhausting his ego, so he's going to keep going.
Has it been him every time?
I hate Michael Bay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So,
if you're going to hear this, Michael Bay, I hate you.
So none of us are enthused by that trailer, I don't think.
Michael Bay loses says, what?
We won't be going to cinema to see that. But one that we definitely will be is the next one. Black Panther.
Tell me something. What do you know about Wakanda? It's a third world country. Textiles, shepherds, cool outfits, all front. Explorers have searched for it. Called it El Dorado. They looked for it in South America. But it was in Africa the whole time. I'm the only one who's seen it and made it out alive. Only be the conquered and the conquerors. You are a good man. With a good heart. And it's hard for a good man to be a king.
I think that looks fucking boss.
I think it looks like I need another trailer. Because,
Really?
Well,
I'm sold, mate.
I just don't know. It's one of the things where I don't know what it's about. I don't know what it's about. There's a lot going on.
It kind of lost me.
But visually,
Halfway
look at that.
through.
Looks boss.
Visually, it looks good.
Yeah, it's a whole different tone for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, it's a predominantly black-led cast, which we've not had before, apart from Luke Cage, which was awesome. You know, I think it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a new, fresh Marvel film.
I don't doubt for any instant that I'm not going to like this. Like, I will love this film, I bet. But as a trailer, look at Gaz's face now. That is a man who is unsure if he has gas. He doesn't know what's just quite happened.
Really?
It looks like a guy who's just woke up next to a girl, and it turns out she's a guy.
It's never happened.
Yeah, so he says.
I thought that you'd both love this. I'm surprised.
I don't know what it was. Like,
not bad.
It
It's
started, and then then we went
At the
to
middle.
somewhere in Africa, and then it looked like we were in fucking space at one point. I don't know what was going on there.
So I thought I was surprised that there wasn't as much of a buzz online about this either. Because for me, when I first watched it, I was like, "Oh, this looks amazing!" You know, my newsfeed's going to be flooded on Facebook with everyone sharing this. And there wasn't really anyone but me and a couple of other people. And
I don't think it's a very buzzed trailer.
Really?
I really
No,
don't.
yeah.
Like, there's a bit where he flips upside down, but I'd kind of seen that before.
Probably you've seen that in Civil War.
Yeah.
He was doing that exact
It wasn't
same.
like an amazing. Ooh.
No, I think it's cool because it does seem so different to all the other Marvel films that we've had. You know, it's in a completely different. It's in a new place. We're going to see Wakanda. You know, there's going to be a whole new bunch of characters that we've never seen before. You know, Black Panther and Claw are the only ones.
I am excited about Claw. That was the one thing. I like. He looks like, and I know the guy playing him. What's he called? He
played Smoke, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a very good. No, not Smoke. He played
Gollum. Yeah, Gollum.
He's a really good actor. He also plays. He played the bad ape in Planet of the Apes, Caesar.
I know you mean it's something
Chadwick
Smeekis
Boseman.
or something like that. I think.
Yeah.
I know Chadwick Boseman is T'Challa. He's Black Panther.
It's like Anthony Smeagol or
Andy Serkis.
It's not Schmeagol.
Andy Smeagol.
Serkis.
Andy Serkis.
I was close.
Yeah.
Smeagol.
Isn't it pretty cool though? Don't you think it's cool that we get him and Bilbo together?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. But no, it's just Claws won me. Some of the scenes, like the fact that I can see him in an ambulance jacket with a gun shooting people. That's pretty. He looks like he's going to be a vicious guy, but he's not even the bad guy in this. I know that.
Forrest Whitaker's in it.
This one for me,
Save the film.
I think as a comic book fan who knows that character, you might be a bit more excited about it. For me, I haven't got a fucking clue who he is. I know he was in Civil War.
I liked him in Civil War loads.
So that trailer does not pull me in.
As a general moviegoer, not a huge
there's nothing really in there that makes me go, ooh, what an interesting character.
Maybe this might be a little bit of the first flop for Marvel then.
Maybe not. We've seen it happen before. I didn't know anything about Deadpool, and I fucking love that. But
that's different.
I know it's a bit more like comedy. I don't see much comedy in there, which I know obviously Marvel do that very well a lot of the time.
Like
so I don't know. It just seems very straight.
I think it's a bad trailer for a good film.
Fair enough. Surprising reaction then. I thought you'd be as excited as I am.
No.
But that's all we have for the trailers. So, shall we move on to our main portion of the show, which is our tribute to the late, great Adam West?
Yeah, so it was on Saturday, was it?
It was, and it's kind of a strange story, actually, how we ended up with this for the main subject for this podcast, because JB had just posted in our group chat, what should we do our next podcast about? And I literally sent a gif of Batman stroking his chin, like, you know, like the
old
cartoon.
style Batman, yeah.
And posted that, went on my Facebook newsfeed, Adam West died. I was like, what the fuck? So obviously sent it to you saying Adam West had just fucking died. And we sort of got our answer there for this what this podcast's going to be about in a strange roundabout way. So we thought we'd pay tribute to the great man himself and talk about some trivia. JB's got a quiz as well. But yeah, first of all, we'll just go around, I think, and talk about what he meant to us and how he impacted our lives and why he was such a great Batman. So should we start with Gaz?
Yeah.
Since he's not prepared. And let me just point out to all the listeners, Gaz is head to toe in bat signals right now. Well, not bat signals.
Yeah, he's got a Batman logo on his t-shirt. His pants are full of Batman logos.
It's bright.
He's wearing Batman PJs, so tell us why you like Batman so much.
Batman, I mean, the 60s Batman, to be honest, probably the first Batman I saw. Yeah. Because I used to watch it, like, when I was young, and I seem to remember it being on, like, ITV or something.
Yeah, it was on ITV3.
And it was obviously so much more kid-friendly than, you know, my mum's not going to let me watch Batman, the original Batman film, like, straight away, because it's a bit more, like, creepy and dark. So this was, like, your first introduction, and it was, you know, it's camp, it's silly, but it was just fantastic, like, entertainment. And, you know, there was so much chemistry between the two of them. And it just was boss. And, like, obviously, I remember forgetting about it for ages. And then I turned up in Leeds, where I was living with a few people. And one of the lads had these, like, 60s Batman DVDs. And it was just, like, going back to it. I was just like, oh, this is fantastic. And then I think we watched it together when we lived at the Edge. And, you know, we were roaring with laughter. Of what was it? The shark repellent.
The bat shark repellent scene every time.
That's the movie, isn't it?
Yeah, the movie. Me and Gaz watched the movie.
Yeah.
But
there's just so many bits in that movie and in the series as well that you just
it's just
absolutely love.
It's just old school comedy genius, and you just don't get them like that anymore. And like you say, that chemistry, you know, what Adam brought to that role. He was completely unique, and he made that show. Yeah, like his delivery,
timing
at the time,
it was just exceptional. Insane. I mean, that is like the type of thing that most comedians would dream of.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot said. Like, obviously, I'm a massive stand-up comedy fan, and one of the big things they always say is it's the timing of when you say the line, and he just gets it spot on for me. And even when he did the voiceovers. For Family Guy, it's exactly the same, and obviously I know he must be being led in a certain way by the creator of that. It's
Seth MacFarlane.
That's the one. But you know, it's that iconic voice delivering that line. It just sounds so brilliant.
His voice, I mean, he's just one of a kind. That voice, you know, it was just brilliant. Yeah, like you said, the way he delivered every line, there was just no one like him. Never will be. It was just a complete. One of a kind, one of the last Hollywood greats, wasn't he, really? What about you, Job?
Well, Gaz has said really...
Sorry, mate.
I said it all.
I remember being at Nan's and watching it all the time, and I loved how, like, they would run about and the cars move dead fast, and they'd fast forward it to make it look faster. But as a kid, it's had two different reactions. As a kid, I'm like going, wow, look how fast he's going. And then when you're older, you go... That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Benny Hill.
This is what was so great about the Batman 66 show is, as a kid, it was the most exciting, wonderful, joyous thing you've ever seen. And as an adult, it was the same, but
it's got a completely different set of reasons.
It's got that, you know, it's something you could watch when you're stoned. It's hilarious. Yeah. You know, it's something you can watch when you're drunk. It's something you can watch when you're sober because it's a great show. It's got that longevity that, like, it can lead on for generations.
It's like it's dated. But it dated itself on purpose.
Yeah, that's why it's so funny as well. You know, it was funny back in the day and it's funny now.
It's not so much like, it isn't so much dated. It was like, it was permanently putting a stamp on time as where it was. Like going, this is we're making a mark now right here. And you can hear it in everything from the music with the little 60s vibes.
Even the like, it's just so like 60s vibe.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
And then you've got the I mean, did you know, like, the camera angles? I'm going slightly into my trivia, but like they'd even do the camera angles crooked,
yeah,
to show like the villains.
The villains were crooked. Yeah, exactly,
but at the same time,
yeah.
that was a very 60s kind of thing to do. To
frame the shot,
just like that, because you can't do one big sweeping shot on a lot of things. You're working with a low budget. I mean, the car. Can we talk about the car?
Oh, yeah.
We will talk about the car. Actually, I've got some trivia. That car, it was auctioned off and sold for $4 million. That Batmobile.
I would have paid $5.
Yeah, I mean, as my main gripe with Batman as it is now is the Batmobile.
Yeah, it's never been as good as that, has
I
it?
think since,
no, it's not.
Probably since Batman Forever's one, I haven't enjoyed them as much.
It's just
Batman and Robin probably had a similar one, to be fair, but I don't quite remember it.
No, the Batman and Robin one was it was like green and nauseous as well.
But that Batmobile is just the epitome of cool.
Oh
yeah, everything about that show is cool. Do you know what I mean? It's just like. It's just the coolest thing ever, and there's never going to be anything like it.
Well, I mean,
I don't think they could do it now. That style.
The only way that they could
do it,
they couldn't have someone else come in and try and do it.
No.
And pull it off. So
the only way
it's got
that
to
they
be
could do it now is the way that they have done it in the animated movie that we went to go see. That was brilliantly done.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad. It makes me sad that we don't get another.
Yeah.
But it also makes me very happy that was kind of his last piece, and it was so well done. And if that was his, that's his last piece of work, his last Batman. It was, it
was excellently done, and it's a way to go out as well. It
was, yeah. Just for me, I actually wasn't introduced to that show until much later in life, until after I'd seen all the other Batman films. When it was reruns on like ITV3 or something like that. I used to watch it on like an afternoon if I was off work or something, and I'd record every show because it was just like I used to have marathons of it because it was just so good. I was like, I need as much of this as I can, because at the time you couldn't get it on DVD or anything like that. That was the only way you could view it. I just absolutely loved it. I thought it was a completely different take on the character. It got it as a period. They nailed that that moment in time. The bands they had on the show playing.
God, yeah.
The Bat Dance. That was it was so funny, and he just absolutely nailed it as a character. He made it his own. And you're talking about like watching it at your nan's and stuff like that, and how it was your first exposure to Batman. Well, that was how I exposed my son first to Batman, was through that, because like you say, the films are quite scary for a kid. And all I had to hand, he's 5 years old, and he's like, oh, like Batman, he's wearing the costume and that. And I'm like, well, he can't read the comics yet, and the films are too scary. What have I got that's Batman that we can watch? Pulled out the Batman movie, the 66 movie, and he loved it. He thought it was hilarious.
It's proper. It's realistically, when you think back, it probably so suits kids.
Yeah. He kept saying,
and as much as you can enjoy it as an adult, it is perfect kids.
That's why it's so great, because it appeals to every walk of life. He'd come round to mine every Saturday and he'd say, "Can we watch the funny Batman?" he just loved it, the funny Batman. He just thought it was so funny when he's dangling off that ladder from the helicopter with the shark on his leg. He's there getting the shark repellent spray. Pass me the shark repellent spray, Robin. And Robin comes down the ladder.
And hangs upside down to hang him. And then the shark drops and then just explodes.
Yeah, it explodes. And then the ship disappears. Because it was a hologram.
What I like, that entire I watched it again last night, and there's so much in that first act which it's proper modern day comedy. Like, you got to remember, like, they fire the missiles, the torpedoes at him, and he uses the radio signal to stop it. And then he stops it and goes, "Fire another one." So they fire the third one, and I was like going, well, I can't remember what happens here. And he goes, "Oh, the radio's not working." I was like, how does he get out of it? I can't remember. And then here's an explosion. They all go, "Hey!" And then they get out of a boat on the shore and goes, Well, it's very brave of that porpoise to...
Sacrifice himself.
Remember, Robin, the mighty porpoise gave its life so that we may fight crime. It's just like, this came out in 66.
Yeah, the writing on that show was just insane. So good. A bit of trivia, actually, about that movie. That in the final fight scene, you know, when they're all fighting on the boat, like all the villains all together, one of the stuntmen, that was one of the villains' henchmen, when he dove into the water, he hit his head on a metal stud at the bottom of the pond and was knocked unconscious. Had to be rushed to hospital.
I like the way you laughed when you said that. Here's a funny story. One of the guys who works on the show got a brain tumour from an accident.
I'm laughing because I can remember the one. Because I remember seeing him go into the water and thinking, that looks quite realistic the way he's floating on top of the water. So that was a bit of trivia from that. And also, have you ever seen the movie poster from this film?
Does he have is he red?
That's right, he's actually wearing a red costume. Can you see that?
Yeah, why? I never got that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's the other one. He's actually wearing a red costume. I did a bit of research on it, and it's actually... It wasn't meant to be wearing that in the film. It was just actually an ode to Bob Kane and his original design for the costume of Batman in the comics.
Right.
Oh.
He was originally meant to have a red costume, so that was just like a little...
A nod.
You know, a nod to it. It doesn't explain why the Joker's got ginger hair in that poster, though. Very odd.
Oh, shit.
It's got like a big Ron Weasley wig on.
Oh, God, I've never noticed that.
Ronald McDonald rather than...
That is, yeah.
It's fucking funny, that man. Yeah, so a bit of the TV show trivia as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course...
You're robbing all your questions.
No, he's not.
Speaking of Robin...
Oh! Hey! Finally, segue.
Holy segue, Batman. So Robin said, holy something or other, 352 times during the 3 seasons of that show. Mr. Freeze was actually renamed in the comics after his appearance in the TV show. He was called Mr. Zero in the comics, and in the show they called him Mr. Freeze, and hence they changed that in the comic, which is something I didn't know.
There was a few changes they made because of the show. Like Alfred was dead. Alfred had died in the comics, and they brought in the Auntie. And then they said, the people on the show were, well, we're doing the Auntie, but we are going to use Alfred. We think a butler would be a really good kind of like addition to the lineup. And he's like, well, we better bring him back from the dead. So they did. They found a reason to make him come back to life and brought him back to life in the comics, which I'm amazed.
Does it link, like, obviously, to be fair, like, in that era, obviously, I don't really read the comics anyway, to be fair, but does it match well with that era then?
Well, they wanted...
They changed a lot of stuff, but how much input did DC have on it?
Not that much, but they wanted the sales, so they wanted to see. So they think people watch Batman. The kids will watch Batman and go, "Where can I get more Batman?" There's a Batman comic. They didn't want to open a Batman comic.
The comics at the time?
To be honest, like
they did go for a campy stage.
I've read the first few years of the Batman comics, you know, in like trade reprints.
Wait, do you mean the ones in the 40s?
Yeah, the very first Batman books.
Yeah.
And I thought they were fucking shite. Like. But obviously that was the way that comics were wrote back then. You know, like they were very, you know, just, you know, episodical. They were just self-contained one-issue stories that were about making it as wacky as possible, and there was no real serious tone to it or anything like that. I can understand how they made the TV show into that. It did fit that kind of same style, but Adam West just made it his own. That's why it was so successful, because it just created a whole new meaning to being Batman and being a good citizen and you know, putting money in the parking meters and all this.
They did have a bit actually. Now
the lessons to the kids, and it used to be like a moral thing, didn't it?
Now as he's saying out loud, I do remember watching something on a documentary about Batman, and it did say that there was a few years during the 60s where they did make the comics very campy like it, because they found that the comics sold better. So Batman went through this really campy stage, and it wasn't until about the late 70s and the early 80s did someone actually finally go, you know, can we make him dark again? Yeah. Can we actually get the Batman to be really dark again? So he went through a bit of a funny change like that.
But I really wanted to show you guys this, you need to watch it, but I thought it might spark a bit of conversation.
Chief, I don't have much time.
Mr. Wayne. Have you heard Mr. Freeze's scurrilous demands? Just briefly. If Robin and I act as go-betweens, are you prepared to make the telecast at midnight and pay the ransom, Mr. Wayne? I have no choice, Batman. Then may I suggest you tape the broadcast from the commissioner's office an hour earlier, and we will have a dummy package of money. A dummy package of money? That sounds risky. Risk is our business, Mr. Wayne. Of course, Batman, I have the same faith in you that all of Gotham City has. I hope Robin and I are deserving of that faith. I'll make the necessary arrangements and meet you at the commissioner's office at 11. Fine. Did you get all that, Commissioner?
Indeed I did, Batman. We'll set up the tape telecast and have the dummy package of money waiting. See you at 11 tonight. Two fine men. So dissimilar in many respects, and yet so similar in others.
I love that show for moments like that, where it's just like, it's so ridiculous, but it just works so well as a comedy show, doesn't it, you know? And kids would watch that, and they wouldn't pick up on how funny it is, because those little jokes were for the adults.
Yeah.
That was so good about that, I don't know. Just kids would just look at it on a surface level, but, you know, for example, when I sit down with my son to watch it, I thoroughly enjoy it just as much as him. Yeah. So we're getting two different experiences.
I think a kid would look at that and go, it's funny how Batman can fool the commissioner by doing that, whereas an adult goes, that's funny because it's so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
But, no, I know what you mean. Like, you know, there's something about that you can see had an influence on, like, the Naked Gun the original. What was it called? The original,
like Airplane and all that kind of comedy where 80s, it's very like
it's kind of like
mad,
bit silly. But that's what I mean. It was one of the first sitcoms, if not the first sitcom, like comedy, to have no laugh track. Which is what made it so different.
Yeah, and that's probably why I like it so much, because I hate laugh tracks.
But at the time, if someone was going to be funny, you'd put a laugh track on, but they didn't put it on.
And you know what's great about that as well is, there's moments in that show where I found myself laughing at stuff that probably wasn't meant to be funny. And that was what was great about the not being a laugh track there, was because, like, you find your own funny moments in it. You know what I mean? You're not being forced to laugh at this.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with laugh tracks, like what you said there, because they are shocking, and especially like when you watch older shows, like obviously I like watch things like Taxi and stuff like that, and there's laugh tracks throughout it, and you're just a bit like, oh god, and it's like, I actually saw a documentary on, I think it was on Friends or something, and it showed how they make these laugh tracks, and obviously it's filmed in front of a live audience, but what they do is they record the live audience and then tweak it. So, and then you go, it's not quite as big a laugh, so we're going to edit it in so there's this woman in the background cackling. It's like, what?
It's crazy.
So it's not even live? What are you doing?
On one of the outtakes, I remember on Friends, like the guy, Chandler, was it Mr. Matthew Perry, he says a line that isn't very funny at all. And then like you hear people go, ha, ha, like that. And then one of the girls goes to talk, and it goes to him, and he goes, sorry, I've just forgot my line. I think we're all just wrestling on how terrible that line is in the script. Can we do something? Everyone laughs loud, and he goes, they'll use that. They'll use that. It was voted the 82nd greatest American TV show ever. Which, when you consider all the American TV shows there are, that's in the top 100, and I bet you they wouldn't have thought that at the time. And this was a really interesting fact. So, you know, when it goes, with the logo, and the spinning in the background, that spinning is a rotating blur of a picture of the start button on the Batmobile's console.
I feel like I knew that already.
Well, you didn't until I just said it.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
But talking about it more and like watching it last night, it just made me want to just delve right back into them all over again. It's just good old fashioned comedy fun. It didn't have to stoop. It was clever because it didn't stoop to arse and tit and fanny jokes. and it didn't. It just did what it wanted to do, and I don't know. It just was something so classic about it. So it's like a gentleman's comedy.
A lot of stuff from like that era, and even though I love it, does feel, and it is dated to a certain degree, but you'd still happily watch it. Whatever, and all it, like obviously you're saying your son watched it. I watched it when I was young. It gets followers every time. There's a new like decade almost.
Yeah, and it'll carry on because everyone will be like, well, who was the first Batman?
Yeah,
ignoring the very early TV series,
the 1940s.
He was the first Batman, and you know, that will never change. And it's just it's a really important piece of pop culture history, especially for Batman fans because he was the OG.
Yeah. And I think what you say there is you can see how iconic it is when you still see that Batmobile turn up at car shows or whatever it is.
You still see
and
people
still
at
like,
Comic-Cons.
Look at it.
Yeah, you still see people at Comic-Cons dressed as the 66
the originals,
Batman.
You obviously, we did a take on
it.
Yeah.
Ran down Southport Pier, dressed as it, you know.
It shows the importance of him in it because, like, one of the girls I work with, she's up to that date on like media. Like, you can mention someone, she's got no idea who you're talking about. Nothing against it, she just doesn't know who you're talking about. It's not her interest. The minute I said Adam West had died, she went, "Oh, Batman." She knew. Like, I didn't even have to, get her, give her a clue. She just knew instantly, and that says something about her character. When someone who just shows no interest in film or media or any kind of pop culture in that way, knew instantly who I was talking about.
Every walk of life, everybody knows, who Adam West is.
Well, if anything, the Family Guy thing helped, didn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that completely took his career on a different direction and elevated it when it needed to happen. And his character in Family Guy was fucking genius.
Yeah.
So funny because he plays himself as a mayor of Quahog, and his lines in that show were just so well delivered and so funny. He even upstaged Peter Griffin on many episodes. I thought he was great.
But again, people are like, "Who is this guy?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Adam West." Like the Adam West, that's what they call him, Adam West. And he just says weird shit.
I mean, because he's such a, we watched the starring Adam West documentary, and it gave you a glimpse into what he was like as a person, and he was a very wacky guy. He was, and he played really wacky character in Family Guy as well.
Yeah.
He come out with some really crazy lines and put himself into some crazy scenarios.
But like Gaz said, he just had natural timing. So there was even on that documentary that to see the toothpaste advert, to see that one bit, I was in stitches of that. He says it's just something weird. It's like this weird toothpaste advert where he's floating through the sky dressed as like a cowboy. And he says all he's trying to do is sell this toothpaste, and it's meant to be like a normal advert, but because of his comedy timing, I just watched that and burst out laughing. I was like, "What the hell is this thing I'm watching?"
No, I know.
But it was like a serious advert, which any other celebrity it would just look dated, but he made it into some kind of almost Mighty Boosh sketch. It was weird.
Yeah, there was another advert that he did was just for some rice, wasn't it? And that was funny as well. And Nesquik. He did a Nesquik advert. But this is before he was Batman. This was back in the day, early 60s. But there was something in that documentary that I really was astounded by. And that was the fact that he almost had a Bruce Wayne origin story with the bats. This was insane. He was working on a cowboy film. He was riding his horse into the desert, and he went too far and went into this cave, and all these fucking bats flew out. And I was just like, that's insane.
He actually had the Bruce Wayne origin.
He's the real Batman.
He is the real Batman.
The Bright Knight.
And I didn't know this as well. He actually had the Batman logo engraved into one of his molars, one of his teeth. He got a dentist to put the Batman logo into all of his teeth.
And some say at night in the dark it would flash the Batman
signal. And he did the voice. I mean, he did lots of voiceover work, but he did Young Mermaid Man in SpongeBob SquarePants. I didn't know that.
Young Mermaid Man?
Yeah.
Oh, did
yeah,
he?
He did, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
His voice is so distinctive, so recognisable. You know, you just want him to read you a bedtime story, don't you?
It had the same... when you think about it, when you watch it, it's got the same feel and campiness to it that, like, Scooby-Doo had. But then Scooby-Doo would add a laughter track. And that is dated, and they've had to keep changing that and modernising it. But you don't have to do that with Batman. It's so weird.
I mean, they've recently, I think it was a couple of years ago now, they've actually made a Batman 66 comic book series.
I still have to read that,
and it's still going. It's an ongoing series. I need to pick it up too because it looks great.
I thought it looked great.
You know, they can keep the spirit of the show alive and do this forever. Same with the cartoons. You know, Return of the Caped Crusaders was brilliant, wasn't it? You know, it was such a great show. But talking about that documentary, it was so nicely done, wasn't it? And as you know, I sat down and watched it with Abby last night, and she doesn't really know much about Adam West at all, other than he's Batman.
Yeah.
And she said to me, you know, that actually made me really like him as a person. Afterwards, she was like, now I know what he was about, and
I mean, a nice guy.
He was a super nice guy, but the thing that resonated with me most was he was flawed as well, and he had problems with alcoholism and depression, and he powered through it, you know, and that struck a chord with me. All he wanted to do was be the best dad he could, be the best son he could, and he was such a nice dude, you know, and he just strove to better himself and better the life of his family.
He reminds me when I watched a Stan Lee documentary, but where Stan Lee went on this, like, I say roller coaster. He went on this roller coaster that went nearly up the whole way and only took like a little dip in the 90s. He went on a much different one, going up and down with his career, but he maintained that same happy attitude. Wanted to meet the fans, wanted to do the best he could, but at the same time wasn't a massive ego. Like when they're trying to get his star on Hollywood, he's just like, if you get that, that'd be nice.
Yeah, he's like, he was interviewed about this Hollywood star, and they asked him, you know, would you be stoked on this? You know, would you be happy if you got it? And he was like, well, if it's what the fans want. And he cared so much about his fans, you know. It's not about what he wanted. He couldn't really care, you know. But he loved meeting his fans. He loved going to Comic-Cons. I think there was like a little backstage moment, wasn't there, before a Comic-Con where he went out onto the panel and he like downed like a shot of vodka before he went out, didn't he, or something.
I like all the like natural speed, because he really goes. You've got to watch it. He really just helps him out in this documentary. Whatever they want to do, film me all the time. But he's just so nice to everyone he meets, and he's always got a little quip to say to them as well. Again, that natural comic timing.
He really embraced being Batman and had fun with it, and wasn't afraid to make fun of himself and have fun with it. You know, like, and that was what made him such a great man. You know, right up until the very end, he embodied Batman, and he loved being, you know.
I imagine he was the first person they approached about doing the animated Batman. And he wouldn't have even blinked and gone, do it. The other ones he might have had to twist a bit for. He went and done it. And that's when you watch all the. I mean, well, praising Adam West here, but the whole show, like Cesar Romero, what's his name?
Frank Gorshin.
What was it?
He played the Riddler. He was brilliant as the Riddler. I loved him.
He should have been the Joker.
Oh, but he was the Riddler.
Yeah, but he should have been the Joker.
Yeah, but Cesar Romero was the Joker, man. I mean, you can't beat that. That tash. I just loved. To me, he was old school, really old school Cesar Romero, and to put him as the Joker, because he was scary looking with them eyes, and like I don't know, I loved him as the Joker, and I love Frank Gorshin as the Riddler, because he was just like, he used to laugh a lot, but he used to jump all over the place with his little green leotard on, and I just thought he was great, you know.
Getting a bit hot under the collar there, Chris, over
green.
His green leotard jumping all over. So I think I'll be ready for I'm calling it. Oh God. He's taking a deep breath before I'm calling it Adam West or Very West.
Oh, fuck it now.
So
what is this, true or false?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I might have a shot here.
That's fine. I'm gonna. Hold on, move. So, I am. So,
Adam West!
Batgirl was meant to have her own show. Is that Adam West or Very West?
Very West.
I'll go with Adam West.
That is Adam West.
Yeah!
Batgirl was originally meant to have her own solo show,
Oh.
but the series was in its decline. You know, after the second one, they weren't doing well, so they decided to do it as all as one. Right, so that's 1-0 to Gary.
I'm keeping score here.
It's not going to be hard. Number 2.
That's what she said.
The actor who played the Riddler that you said, what was his name?
Frank Gorshin.
Frank Gorshin was nominated for an Emmy for his portrayal of the Riddler. Is that Adam West or Very West?
Very West.
Very West.
That is Adam West.
Oh,
he got
really?
nominated at the time
Fucking
for
Emmy.
a Best Supporting Role.
Wow.
And for his portrayal of the Riddler, they all thought it was fantastic. 'Cause he was.
It
fucking great.
was fantastic, but I didn't think he'd get recognised for it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Number 3. So still 1-0 to Gaz. He didn't return for season 2 because they wouldn't write in. No, he didn't return for season 2.
Very well.
No.
I don't even know.
He didn't return. I'm trying to, because I've had to write these down. He didn't return for season 2 because he wanted to kill Batman, and they wouldn't let him.
Very West.
Very West.
Now that is Very West, but it was. I got that from the fact that Mickey Rooney was asked to play the Penguin. You know, the old actor Mickey Rooney. And he refused to play the Penguin when he found out he wouldn't end up killing Batman.
Oh, right.
What a horrible
Fuck
man.
off, Mickey.
Yeah. Fuck off, Rooney. Works in so many levels. So that's 2-1, Gaz. Number 4. The Marooner.
Hang on, sorry, 2-1.
Yeah.
Let's say 2-1, Gaz.
I'm already up by 1.
Yeah.
We both got that.
When?
The beginning, Batgirl.
Yeah, but who got... We
You
did.
both did.
Oh, shit, yeah. Sorry. We both get a point. I'm not very good at making
No, clearly.
points.
Number 4. Don't forget to play along at home, kids. The Marooner, Captain Trash, and Weatherman were all bad guys the Two-Face on the show.
Adam West.
Very West.
That is Very West.
Ah.
I made all them up. I'm quite impressed with them. Marooner, Captain Trash,
I
and
just
Weatherman.
want to see Weatherman.
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought. I was like, I need to think of someone who was like, the Weatherman.
There's a storm.
I see it.
I'm going to make that film.
So that's 2-2. Right?
How many left?
6. It's out of 10. So number 5. The original pilot bombed with 3 test audiences. Is that Adam West or Very West?
I'm going to say Adam
I'm
West.
going to say Very West, because I don't think they'd have done it for 4 times.
It's Adam West.
Oh!
3-2. Yeah, so it did bomb 3 times. They tried it normally, then they tried it with a laugh track, and then they tried it with a bit of a laugh track, but not as much of one. No audience liked it, but they were so desperate for any show at that time, the channel, they just went, just fucking put it on anyway.
Oh.
And they actually used different actors as well. They tried a different Robin out.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's 3-2 to Chris, who's taking the lead. Number 6. Otto Preminger, who played Mr. Freeze, only played Mr. Freeze because his grandkids locked him out in his house. Is that Adam West or Very West?
It's got to be Very West, that.
I'm just going to go for Adam West, just because I'm going opposite now. I need points.
That is Adam West.
Yeah!
So apparently he didn't want to play the part when he was offered. When his grandkids found out he'd been offered the part, they locked him out the house until he agreed.
That's amazing.
Brilliant.
So it's 3-3. Question 7. In one episode, Batman teams up with Superman. Is that Adam West or Very West?
Very West.
Very West, I'm going with.
That is Very West.
Yeah. There'd have been more about that.
Yeah.
Like, I knew you'd catch on to that. Oh, my clever boys. 4-4. So, 4-3.
4-4 minutes.
Oh yeah, you caught up 4-4.
We're tying.
Yeah. Number 8. The entire set was destroyed almost as soon as it was cancelled. Is that Adam West or Very West?
Adam West.
Oh, I don't know whether to just go against what you said to try and pick up a point. I do think it's Adam West, that one, though.
That is Adam West.
Yeah.
So it only took about 2 or 3 months, which is unusual in the business, but they destroyed the set, and that's what stopped it being picked up again. When they found some other channel to pick it up, they were like, "Yeah, you got the set," and they went, "No," and they went, "Well, that costs hundreds of thousands," so no. So with that, the people who destroyed the set, literally destroyed any chance of the show coming back.
Could be a blessing and a curse, though, because it was perfect.
So 5 apiece here. Question 9. So there was overlays used in the fight scenes, like pow, punch, stuff like that.
Onomatopoeias.
So some of the overlays used in fight scenes included zwap, flub, and clank-est. Is that Adam West or Very West?
I'm going to go Adam West because they had some pretty weird sound effects on that show.
I'm going Very West. I don't like that last one.
That is Adam West.
Oh, yeah. Fucked it.
I'm really struggling to pronounce them. Zwap is ZZWAP. Flub was FLRBBB. It didn't even have a fucking any vowel in it. And yet Clank-est was after he's fighting some guy in armour, and it's like clank, then there's another punch, and it's like clank back, and then he punches back again. It comes up Clank-est.
Amazing.
So 6-5 to Chris. So this is either a tie break, we'll make it a tie, or Chris will go on to win. Question 10. Adam West turned down the part to star as John McClane in Die Hard. Is that Adam West or Very West?
It's got to be Very West.
Very West.
Oh, he's going for Very West.
That is Very West.
Yes!
So
still
he's still lost.
God damn it.
Yes, that was. No, he didn't turn that down. However, he did turn down the opportunity to be James Bond.
Oh.
He was approached about it and said he wasn't interested. Which I thought would have been very...
That would have been a very interesting Bond.
That would have been. So, well done, Chris. I think that's the first time...
First time I've won in anything in my life. I'm glad it's something to do with Batman.
I'm just happy Gaz didn't win for once. That's all it is. I'll just fucking win. Just off no research whatsoever.
Well, frankly, I'm disappointed.
So does that wrap it up for our Adam West tribute episode?
We've said,
I think we've really made it very clear that this guy was an awesome human being who was really talented at what he did and really made an impact on not just our lives, which we've made it very clear how much it made an impact to all 3 of us, but to every person who's ever watched that show around the world, and anyone in relation to them. Like you said, they just have to see just like a Batman car going by, like at a show, or a guy dressed as 60s Batman, like we saw at in Thought Bubble.
Oh yeah, with the bomb.
With the bomb, and some days you can't get rid of a bomb. It was so important, and what he did was so great. And to you, Adam West, we salute you.
So, what did Adam West mean to you, listeners? We'd like to hear your thoughts. Tweet at us at TalkNerdyUK, and find our Facebook page, facebook.com/TalkNerdyUK. We'd like to hear what he meant to your life and as a Bat fan. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the show as well, because we don't really get much feedback on the podcast.
My mum says she likes it.
Who's listening? Have we got any international fans? Tweet at us. We'd love to hear from you guys, and ask us questions, and we'd be able to feature them on the show. We'd love some interaction from our listeners. So tweet at us at TalkNerdyUK. So I've been Chris. Thanks for listening.
I've been JB.
I've been Gaz.
Keep talking nerdy.